The 90s brought many amazing and not so amazing Addams Family films and TV shows. But in the 2000s and 2010s, Addams Family fans didn't have many options to choose from. The only option being the Addams Family Broadway musical, which is pretty good, might I add. But I remember when the Addams Family made its second return, the second wave of the Addams Family Renaissance. I'm Eva, and this is the third and final part of an unhinged deep dive into every Addams Family adaptation. If you didn't watch the first and second parts, the links will be in the description and in the card. Also, spoiler alert, because I will be going over the plots of these films and TV shows. Now let's get into the video. The Addams Family is back in the 21st century with a new animated film, starring Oscar Isaac as Gomez and Charlize Theron as Morticia. This is actually the first Addams Family adaptation that I watched. Yes, I'm sorry for being a Gen Z. Pugsley's character design really scares me though. This one definitely has the most accurate character designs. It kind of gives me Hotel Transylvania vibes, and the character designs of the side characters are a bit questionable. The thing that is different about this adaptation is that in the other versions, especially the 1964 version, the Addams Family don't know that they're different from everyone else. They think that they're just an average family. Down to see. There are also some additions to the family tree, so I'll go over that. It's pretty similar to the 1960s series, besides Uncle Fester being Gomez's brother and Auntie Sloom, played by Jennifer Lewis. She's Grandmama's sister, making her Gomez and Fester's aunt and Wednesday and Pugsley's great aunt. Ophelia, Morticia's sister, is back in this for a small cameo. We haven't seen her since 1977, so welcome back! And fun fact, Cousin It is voiced by Snoop Dogg in this. There are also a few pop culture references in this movie. Some of them work and some of them really fail. Thing was literally looking at feet pics in the beginning of the movie. In the 21st century is pretty much an edgy teen. Well, she's already edgy, but she's more so rebellious when it comes to her parents now. This is also seen in all of the newer adaptations so far. Ending. This movie was fine. It's a pretty average kids movie. Gomez and Morticia are very protective over the children in this, not wanting them to be exposed to the people that would harm them because they're different from everyone else. I think that was an interesting premise, but this movie just turned out to be mid. Wednesday and Pugsley were also battling with conflicts with their parents. I already said that Wednesday wanted to know more about the outside world and be more normal, so she rebelled against Morticia. Pugsley felt like he wasn't good enough to do the mazurka and felt pressure from Gomez to be like the other Addams men. So we have interesting family conflicts that we never really saw before in previous adaptations. I don't really like that they're self-aware about being different. I liked it better when they're oblivious about people thinking they're strange. It just makes it funnier in my opinion. They brought back Lurch sang you ring and playing the harpsichord. They also remade the 1964 intro at the end of the movie, which is pretty cool. So I'll put it in the pastels category and put it above the new Addams Family show because, in my opinion, it was better than that. The next adaptation is a sequel to the 2019 film, simply titled The Addams Family 2. It has the same so Snoop Dogg quoted of them. And Uncle Fester is slowly becoming an octopus to find her real dad. She leaves because she always felt like she was an outcast from her family and that she was very different and smarter than the rest of them. That's why it would make sense that a scientist is her dad. And they look very much alike.
Lie down, Elvira!
It's okay, scientist man. Even Gomez got Elvira mixed up with Morticia before.
I hope I don't run out of hors d'oeuvres.
Hors d'oeuvres? You spoke French! Speak some more. Soup du jour. Eiffel Tower. C'est la vie. Penny. Wait a minute. What's this address?
Of course it's a dress.
Certainly is, but where am I?
5515 Melrose. Why?
That's not my house.
But anyways, the scientist wanted to convince Wednesday that he was her father so he could steal her science experiments. End. This movie was alright. It was kind of boring and it had the basic road trip plot. They could have done more for Grandma and Pugsley too. I forgot to say this when I was going over the first film, but Oscar Isaac is the second Latino actor that was casted to play Gomez, so we love the representation. But I'll put this in the oh no he lives tier. I'm kinda tired of the plots about Wednesday having family problems. Why does she always got beef with her family? The next adaptation is a live-action series titled Wednesday, starring Jenna Ortega as Wednesday Addams. This adaptation is very different from the other versions because instead of Morticia and Gomez being the stars and they're focusing more on the whole Addams family, Wednesday is now the star and it focuses more on her life. Wednesday really became a fan favorite after Christina Ricci's iconic portrayal in the 1991 and 1993 films, so that's probably why they gave her her own spin-off. I won't tell the whole plot of this series because it has a season-long arc where all the episodes tell the same story, instead of an episodic arc where there's a new plot in each episode. That's how all of the Addams Family shows have been previously. In this show, Wednesday is now 16 years old, and she feels very distant from her family, especially Morticia. And that's probably because she's an angsty teen now. Well, at least more angsty than usual.
I am not you, Mother. I will never fall in love, or be a housewife, or have a family.
Whoa, Wednesday, I hope Uncle Fester didn't hear that.
Darling, I'm afraid you're going to have to be punished.
Good! I'll put it over my knee!
No. I prefer a punishment that will leave an impression on her mind.
But anyways, Wednesday gets sent off to Nevermore High, a boarding school that Gomez and Morticia went to, because she almost killed some guys that bullied Pugsley. She has to go because she got expelled from her normal school, and Gomez and Morticia are happy that she's going because that's where they met. When she gets to the school, she meets a lot of interesting people. Enid, a preppy werewolf girl that can't even turn into a wolf. And I'm sorry, but I honestly found her really annoying.
Turn that off. This is your final warning. Ah! Don't mess with me. This kitty's got claws, and I'm not afraid to use them.
That was honestly a hard scene to watch. She meets Bianca, a mean siren girl, and her ex-boyfriend Xavier. He can make paper real or something, I don't know. And she meets Tyler, a random normal guy that lives in the town outside of Nevermore. In the beginning of the series, she's trying to leave Nevermore and go back home. Then she finds out about a monster killing people in town, so she wants to solve that mystery. There's also some type of discrimination and social hierarchy in Wednesday because the Nevermore students are all different types of creatures or have powers. Wednesday has psychic visions in this, so they're called outcasts. And normal people outside of Nevermore are called normies. The normies discriminate against the Nevermore students obviously because they think they're weird and they think they're monsters, but it's more than that. While Wednesday is discovering clues to solve the mystery about the people getting murdered, she has a vision about her ancestor from the 17th century, Goody Addams. Goody and her mom have Mexican ancestry and were said to be a part of the first people in Jericho, Vermont, the town that Wednesday takes place in. Some pilgrims come to get rid of the outcasts because they get accused of witchcraft. So I guess this is a mix of the Salem witch trials and the genocide of Native Americans? But the outcasts are replacing these people in Wednesday. So basically, since the outcasts were oppressed, kicked out of their homes, and possibly killed by the normies, remnants of it are still present in society today. So you're telling me that Wednesday, with a trillionaire father, with many decades of generational wealth, who lives in a mansion and appears to have Eurocentric features, is the face of systematic and generational oppression in this show because she's emo? It's not even because she has psychic powers, because she's keeping that a secret from her family and everyone else. So it's really just because her and the rest of the Addams family is goth, I guess. But that's a video for another day. I don't really like the whole outcast versus normie thing because I think it makes the Addams family too self-aware. Like I said before, they were originally supposed to be a parody of the average family, and they thought that they were normal just like, the average family. Now since they're called outcasts, they know that they're different, and now they're systematically oppressed for being goth, which I don't like very much, but whatever. I think that Addams Family Values had much better commentary on how society views marginalized people with the whole summer camp plot. Wednesday and Pugsley weren't systematically oppressed because they were different, unlike some of the other kids at the summer camp who were disabled, of different races, etc. Yet they were still judged by kids and adults at the summer camp. The film was still able to make commentary on these topics while still acknowledging that the Addams family are very well off. Because who really cares if you're weird and wear black if you're rich? That's what usually stopped people from being outright disrespectful to the Addams family in every other adaptation. Instead of Gomez having direct Spanish ancestry, the Addams family all have Mexican descent in this, because of their ancestor Goody Addams. The whole cast of the Addams Family is also Latino, besides Morticia. Love the representation. I guess Tim Burton is trying to make up for saying people of color, mostly black people, don't fit his aesthetic. Jenna Ortega literally carried this show on her back, because some of her co-stars were questionable. I'm not sure if it was the script or the acting, but some parts felt too plain or like something was off. Wednesday also unfortunately has a love triangle with Tyler and Xavier, and she has no chemistry with either one of the guys. I don't think she even likes them very much. The cast of the show actually had arguments with the writers because they thought Wednesday shouldn't have a love triangle because it seemed pretty out of character, yet they did it anyways. I do like most of the casting of the family in this. Luis Guzman being casted as Gomez did make some controversy though. If you want to know about it, you can watch my yesification of Gomez Addams video, link in the card. But Ortega did great as Wednesday. She was really able to bring out that unemotional personality to a new generation, very similar to the 90s one, but just a teenager now. And speaking of the 90s Wednesday, Christina Ricci actually makes a cameo in the show as Marilyn Thornhill, and she's the twist villain of the show. This show has a very different vibe from other adaptations because it's not really a comedy even though they say it is. I would say it's more of a mystery / drama because it's not very funny in my opinion. I like that Wednesday has a lot of character growth in this too. At first she's a loner that shuts everyone out, that causes conflict with the people at Nevermore and her family. But she was able to open up a bit and meet new friends. And she even gets closer to Morticia and builds a bond with her. I really wish that we could have seen more of the Addams Family because I do like the scenes where Gomez and Morticia are there. Their romance is a bit corny but in a good way. It's like it's in Wednesday's point of view of how she sees her parents.
Fortunately, my brother Fester's rag fits 2 people.
Nothing like a good stretch to bring out the best in each other.
Querida mía.
Enough.
With some more screen time and better writing, I think Catherine Zeta-Jones and Luis Guzman could have really shined as Gomez and Morticia. Uncle Fester appears for only 1 episode, and there's no grandmama or cousin in this. Lurch and Pugsley are honestly just there, and Thing really got an upgrade in this. His appearance is way more cooler, and he plays a bigger role in the story. Gomez sends Thing to Nevermore to make sure Wednesday stays out of trouble, and he's pretty much Wednesday's henchman throughout the show. He interacts with the characters in this even more, and he feels like he's really a part of the show. Thing honestly might be my favorite character in Wednesday. So I'll put this in the pastels tier in front of all of the other adaptations because I did enjoy this the most out of every other one in this tier. I feel like this had a lot of potential and it could have been way better with different writers, and if they didn't include that love triangle. It has some good parts and also some really cringy parts, but it's still pretty entertaining. If it's better next season, it could possibly move up to another rank. Well, that's the end of this video and this series. This is the final tier list of all the Addams Family adaptations. At the top of the tier list, in the That's French tier, we have Addams Family Values, the Addams Family 1964, the Addams Family 1991. In the Are You Unhappy Darling tier, we have the Addams Family 1992. In the Pastels tier, we have Wednesday, the Addams Family Meets Scooby-Doo, the Addams Family 2021, and the New Addams Family. In the Oh No He Lives tier, we have Halloween with the New Addams Family and the Addams Family 2. And in the lowest tier, As the Planet Gone Mad, we have the Addams Family 1973 and Addams Family Reunion. Which is kind of funny because Addams Family Values and Addams Family Reunion come right after each other, and they're on the opposite sides of the tier list. If you enjoyed, be sure to like the video and comment your favorite Addams Family adaptation. I will be making more videos about the Addams Family and other